to the world of English with Sakshi Khanna once again in the continual session of Literature, Book Vista, Chapter 1, the third level. Today we are doing word to word explanation. So I expect from you all that you people will all open your books. If you are not having, then you can have the PDF on the screen for the better understanding. So shall we move on? Text of the third level from your book Vista, that is supplementary reader, which has been written by Jack Fanny. The third level, as we shared about the summary, the plot yesterday, we had seen also the location. I through images I showed you each and everything, but today word to word explanation is very important because we don't know a CBSE what sort of question they can put, what type of context we need to refer. Okay, so you need to have better understanding if you will go through the word to word explanation by the original text given by Jack Fanny. So shall we start? Okay, and I hope that you all are with the literature books or the PDF of the same chapter, that is third level, which I shared you yesterday about the third level. Third level person, the main character Charlie, just wanted to escape from the modern world, and in the mind there was a fantasy of the peaceful world that he found in his fantasy only in Galesburg. So we are talking about that only. So before you read, now I'm making it little broad for your better understanding. Have you ever had any curious experience which others find hard to believe? You just go to that situation that you are experiencing something different, and when you share with your friends, your relatives, and they just laugh or they say that it can't happen, it's your fantasy, it's your creation, it's your illusion. Yes, the same happened here with Charlie. It's really wonderful chapter. If you feel nothing complicated, people consider it complicated as well, but it is not. Indeed, yes, indeed true, it is not. The only thing in this chapter you will find the sequence of the incident will not accordingly. That is a different only. So the presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack means the pile of timetable, that there are only two. This is all about the different railroad stations of New York City, but I say there are three because I have been on the third level of the Grand Central Station. Who is saying this? Charlie is saying this, that the president of the New York Central and the New York New Haven Hartford railroads, only two levels, but he found third level there. Yes, I have taken the obvious step. I talked to psychiatrist friend of mine. Among others, I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station, and he said it was a waking dream, wish fulfillment. Waking dream, wish fulfillment. He said I was unhappy. He didn't get convinced. That made my wife kind of mad. My wife consider me I'm a mad. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. Well, who doesn't? Everybody wants. Everybody wants to go to the peaceful world. Okay? So, everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. These are the words of Charles when he was convincing his wife and his friend, who is psychiatrist, that everyone wants to escape from this modern world full of fear, insecurity, war. Okay, but nobody got the third level at Grand Central Station full of peace, which I found. So what is harm in that? But that's the reason, he said, and my friends all agreed. Everything points to it. They claimed my stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful. Then he gave reference of stamp collection habit of his grandfather, which he also followed. The same habit which made him sometime temporary taking shelter in ancient era. Flip the second page. And the second page, see, I make it little broad for you people. In his day, from all I hear, and he started my collection. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of four of practically every very US issue, first take covers, and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, and he was giving the reference, convincing wife and friend that even President Roosevelt also had the stamp collection hobby. Anyway, here is what happened at Grand Central. Now he is explaining what happened actually at Grand Central Station. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment, so I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. What happened? He was working in the office, late working, he wanted to reach home little faster, so he avoided to go by bus, he decided to go by train. So he rushed towards the railway station, Grand Railway Station. Next, what happened? Let's see. Now, I don't know why this should have happened to me. Something happened unusual to him only. I am just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I was not trying to escape from anything. When his friend said that your mind wanted to escape, so you went to the ancient time where you found the peace. Then he said, I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I was not trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Lucia, my wife, little early. Only this was my desire. I just wanted to reach home so early. This I had done. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level. If you have ever traveled in metro in New Delhi, then you can understand, or even in Mumbai local also. I have traveled many a times, but in Delhi there are stations in the basement, some of the station in the basement, but local always on the surface of the ground level. So New Delhi metro, you can consider it first level, third level, second level easily if you people have traveled. So that he is explaining what happened actually. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue. From Vanderbilt Avenue, he turned around to Grand Central Station, steps down to the first level where you take the trains like 20th century, means the modern era, common time, where we are living. Then I walked down another flight to the second level where the suburban trains leave from, ducked into an arched doorway heading for the out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doorways. Now, second also he avoided the arc-shaped door. Okay, I explained you yesterday the stations and the arc-shaped door. Okay, so he avoided, but he felt something that he was not feeling to go, but he was getting some sort of force that easy to do. I have been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times. He said that many a times I travel from Central Railway Station, Grand Station, but it didn't happen. But I am always bumping into new doorways. This time, what happened unusual? He was bumping. Bumping means by force. He was entering to the new doorways and stairs and corridors. He was getting through the new doors, new constructed era, which he didn't have before. Okay, he just wanted to convince when he was giving the explanation. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of Roosevelt. First time when he lost his way, he entered to Roosevelt Hotel lobby. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away, where he lost his second time way. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree. Sometimes he felt he compared Grand Central Station with growing up tree. That yesterday it was different, 1 month ago it was different, but today it is totally different. It's a growing tree like, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. Like roots, when a tree roots give the force to the tree and then it moves on. Okay, in the same way he was feeling that the roots of this tree just pushing me to the new corridors, new staircases, like that. So in this page, the second page, he was giving the explanation. I tell you why I am giving you word to word explanation is very important. Then afterwards you can create your own question, you can create your own answer. You don't need to go for any sort of workbooks, prepare notes. You can be the creator. So my target is to make you the creator, not the learner only. So I always believe in self creation, and self creation can be done when we know each every word explanation and the context of the sentence. Events happen, minor events, major events, usual events, unusual events, everything you know. So please, word to word explanation is must for everyone. Moving to the next page, Kai, page number 3rd, making it little broad for you people. So we were at the explanation by Charlie to wife. What about the station? What unusual happened at the same particular day? Moving ahead, there is probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square, and maybe another to Central Park. Again, the same explanation he is giving how he got into the 3rd level. And maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way of escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into, but I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downward, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. He was thinking in the mind that the way is not usual. Daily he is not going through such tunnels and doorways, staircase. It's totally different today. Why it is happening like that? Maybe it's illusion of my mind. He was talking to himself. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footstep. The station was overcrowded all the time. Stations are always overcrowded. Okay, maybe night or morning we talk about the office hours or odd hours, but it is always crowded. It's a crowded place. Stations are crowded place, unless some situation like locking down or curfew. Okay, so all I could hear was the empty sound. With this sentence you can find out that it was just his journey through the illusion, okay, of his imagination. It was not the real journey. He heard the only footstep of himself. How it is possible? Okay, look at the line. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul. I didn't pass a soul, not a single man I passed. Then I heard the sort of hollow roar ahead, that means open space and people talking. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the 3rd level at Grand Central Station. The moment he just turned to the left of the tunnel, and when he came out, where he came out? He came out to the 3rd level. Yes, 3rd level at Grand Station. In this way, he reached. Question can come to you people that please explain the journey of Charlie to Grand Level. So these all texts you need to keep in mind while answering your question. Now the tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight, very short flight he took and came out on the third level at Grand Central Station. Now, for just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level. First, he thought, I am back on the second level, but I saw the room was smaller. Little changes he observed. Then he thought that this is not second level, this is another level, that is third level. There were fewer ticket windows and train gates. Means all the things, ticket counters were very less. Okay, train gates and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. In old era construction, when he found at third level, then he decided that I am not in the second level, it's totally different. And the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. Eye shades, eye gear, you understand. The lights were dim and sort of flickering, not very loud lights. Very dim lights were there. Then I saw why they were open flame gas lights. Now this is explanation of third level. Now here also the question rises that give the explanation made by Charlie about third level. Now third level, the whole passage you can consider, I tell you. So there were fewer ticket windows from here till gas lights. Now when you will create your own answer and follow this text, refer this text, your answer will be unique. Then you will be creator of your own answer. Okay, you will get unique marks, unique score. But when you are going through some workbook which are available in the market, every boy is taking, every girl is taking that book, then your answer will not be unique. You will be getting extra marks by putting extra efforts. So this is the way only. Okay, so such type of questions can come, which I am telling you with the reading side by side. To the next page, let me make it little broad for you people to understand. Yeah. Explanation of third level, we are continuing with that. There were brass spittoons. Spittoons I explained you yesterday only in the vocabulary. Spittoons, brass spittoons are the jar or bin, you can say, for using the spit of the travelers to avoid the dirtiness on the floor. Okay, so spittoons, brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at, snapped, you also know, glanced, I explained you to look. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 18, 19 something, because he is talking his mind now, thinking, watching, observing everything of 18th century. That is why he is feeling that everyone is wearing odd dress, which we are not usually wearing. I never saw so many beards, sideburns and fancy mustache in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. Now here what question rises? The question rises here that which unusual things he observed, Charlie observed at third level. Okay, so then we will explain the dressing, different corridors, counters were different, everything we will explain. I never saw so many beards, sideburns and fancy mustaches in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeve, very long sleeves. Okay, it's a kind of a sleeve like belt sleeves, umbrella sleeves, like mutton sleeves, and skirts to the top of her high button shoes. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse. Locomotive, a very small carrier, eaves locomotive with a funnel shaped stack, and then I knew, to make sure, I walked over to a newsboy. Now, when he saw the locomotive, old time engine, then he was far sure that he has reached to the mind travel, time travel. He has been through time travel. This is called as time travel. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy. Now he wanted to confirm what is happening exactly. What is the date today? Am I in 19th century but observing all the things of 18th century? How it is possible? Let us check in the newspaper. So he found a paper boy. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. Stack means the piles. It was the world. Name of the paper is the world, and the world has not been published for years. The paper which was being published, okay, in 18th, it was stopped in 19th. So first indication he got that it was the world has not been published for years. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. I have found that front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894. You can find out the date immediately in the newspaper. Today we are having the mobile, so there is no need in that. But generally people refer to check the date when they got confused, they get perplexed. I turned toward the ticket windows, knowing that here now he was at the station, so he needs to buy the tickets. On the third level at Grand Central, I could buy tickets that would take Lucia and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go. In the year 1894, and I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg. So he wanted to go to the Galesburg, that was his dream destination. Illinois. Have you ever been there? It's a wonderful town still. Now he was talking to himself that have you ever been there? It's really wonderful, beautiful. Okay, town still. With big old frame houses, small houses, huge lawns and tremendous trees full of nature whose branches meet overhead and roof of the street. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long and people set out on their lawns. Now here question rises in this paragraph, the major question, major event which we can say, the major note if you ask about, the major note in this paragraph, that his dream destination, that is Galesburg. Okay, why it is dream destination of Charlie's only? Why? The answer is also here and question also rises here. So, summer evenings were twice as long and people sat out on their lawns, the men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans with the fireflies all around in a peaceful world. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and World War II over 40 years in the future. I wanted 2 tickets for that. Yes, I wanted 2 tickets for that. Now, last paragraph, have you ever been there? This is the full explanation of Galesburg, what sort of city it is actually. Okay, so if the question asked against this clause that explain Galesburg, the city town, what type of city, or what he felt about the city, how Charlie's explained the city Galesburg, what do you know about the dream destination of Charlie. So this paragraph will give you full reference, all the clauses you need to add on. Okay, be mindful and you need to underline if you are having book with you. Sorry for this continuing. So here I was just talking about the question in this paragraph with the major question about the dream destination of Charlie's explanation as well. So you need to mark the keywords, keynotes, okay, and the question itself which I am telling you paragraph wise paragraph. Okay, then and a very important thing I just want to tell you, because why I am saying you to get the book, because I want in every paragraph which major question I am telling you, and then you will get some minor questions as well. You need the both. Moving ahead to the next page, let us make little, yes, broad for you people. So the clerk figured the fear. The clerk was there because he wanted to purchase 2 tickets. Okay, so he went to the ticket counter. The clerk figured out the fare, he told. He glanced at my fancy hat band, but he figured the fare, and I had enough for 2 coach tickets one way. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me because there was money issue, currency issue, because 19th century some different notes you are getting, in 18th century they were different. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me, glancing at me, looking at me. He nodded at the bills. He nodded means he denied. That's are not money, mister, he said. Why he denied? Because it was he had in the pocket the currency, running currency, not the old currency, but he was going to purchase the ticket from the ticket counter of 18th century. So that's why he was said that it's not money, he said. And if you are trying to skin me, you won't get very far. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. Of course, the money was old style bills. Money was old style. So he could buy the tickets with the that time old style bills, currency only, half again as big as the money we use nowadays, and different looking. Definitely, for example, if you want to purchase something today, okay, and you are talking about the currency of 18th century, it will not be acceptable. The clerk or any person, the shopkeeper will deny to give you the services. So it same happened with him because it was different looking. I turned away and got out fast. He ran very fast. There is nothing nice about jail even in 1894, and that was that I left the same way I came. He followed the same way he came. I suppose next day during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank. He took the money from his bank, nearly all we had. Why he took the money? Because he wanted to change the money, exchange the money with the old version, and worried my psychiatrist friend. Now, I drew $100 out of the bank, $300, sorry, out of the bank, nearly all we had. Whatever he had, everything he took out and bought old style currency. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. Premium the first portion. My $300 bought less than 200 in old styles. Exchange offer, he got old style currency 200 less, loss of $100. But I didn't care. He didn't care. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. What he said? He gave the example that eggs were 13 cents a dozen, which we are paying a lot for eggs buying, for buying the eggs. But I have never again found the corridor that leads to the third level. He was fully mad, fully crazy to go to the third level anyhow, because he said that money can be managed, okay, but the way which I found at Grand Central Station for Gulsberg, that I will never found, although I have tried often enough. Lucia was pretty worried. She was pretty worried. Definitely she will worry when I told her all this, and didn't want me to look for the third level anymore. And she said that just don't think about third level, and after a while I stopped. I went back to my stamps. But now we are both looking. What happened when Lucia stopped her to go on? Stop thinking about third level. Then he stopped. He went back to his stamps collection. But now both were together. Who is? That is his friend. Every weekend, because now we have proof that the third level is still there. My friend Sam Winner disappeared. Nobody knew where, but I sort of suspected because Sam's a city boy and I used to tell him about Galesburg. I went to school there and he always said he liked the sound of the place, and that's where he is all right in 1894. So here in this passage, new character came, that is Sam, his friend. He is not available this time, disappeared somewhere, but some connectivity with Galesburg. Let us see how it is connected. Because one night fussing with my stamp collection. Fussing means just flipping down, up when we play with our things. I found, well, do you know what a first day cover is? When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors, what they do, yesterday I shared with you the way. For example, if I have the hobby of stamp collecting, what I will do, whenever the new stamp will be released, I will get that stamp put on envelope and I will address myself only that envelope, because it will be stamped by the government and it will become authentic, and then I will keep it as my collection. This is the way. So here he is talking that how people do the stamp collection, the first stamp collection. This is explanation. Question can be asked here, what was the way of stamp collecting in ancient time? How do the people? Moving ahead to the last page of this chapter, final page. Now we are on the final page. Here is the explanation of the stamp. Use them to mail envelopes to themselves on the very first day of the sale. Whenever the new stamp is introduced in the state and the postmark proves the date. Postmark means from the post office. The envelope is called a first day cover. Question rises here, what do you mean by first day cover? Now this is the explanation of first day cover. They are never opened. Which are never opened? People keep for their collection. They never open. You just put blank paper in the envelope. That night, among my oldest first day covers, I found one that shouldn't have been there, but there it was. He said that when he was searching the envelopes, first day cover, because he was also the same habit as his grandfather was, that to collect the stamps and the first day cover. So he was, when we are having any hobby, randomly we check our collection. So he randomly checked his collection, but one envelope which he found there, it was not before that. I found one that shouldn't have been there, but there it was. It was there because someone has mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galsburg. It's all about Galsburg. That's what the address on the envelope said, and it had been there since July 1894. The postmark showed that, yet I didn't remember it at all. The stamp was a 6 cent, because we get all the information from the stamp itself. Dull brown with a picture of President Garfield. Naturally, when the envelope came to Granddad in the mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there till I took it out and opened it. The paper inside was not black. It was not black. So, what he got from the envelope, let us see this letter. Very important. Address is 941 Willett Street, Galsburg, Illinois, July 1894. To Charlie. It was written to Charlie. I got to wishing that you were right. Then I got to believing you were right. And Charlie, it's true. I found the third level. Again, Sam is telling something to Charlie about third level. I have been here 2 weeks, and right now, down the street at the Dalles, someone is playing a piano and they are all out on the front porch singing. Sing Nellie home. And I'm invited over for lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Lucia. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it. Believe me. Now this is again an invitation letter for Lucia and Charlie by Sam to third level. So the note is signed Sam at the stamp and coin store I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. $800. He got $300 that out to set him up in a nice little hay, feed and grain business which he wanted to do. The business of grain, feed and hay. He always said that it's all about the agriculture, farming. He always said that what he really wished he could do, and he certainly can't go back to his old business. Not in Galsburg, Illinois in 1894. His old business. Why? Sam was my psychiatrist. So this is about the last paragraph, means you will be getting nothing, no moral, nothing like that. You got something from this chapter. It was so interesting. It was just a illusion based time traveling, okay, which often we do. So all the sequence are not getting matched to each other, totally different. So don't get confused, just take it casually, okay. It is a chapter based on the time travel theory, that you need to understand what is time travel. Then you will realize the situations, the events happening, and you will be able to give the answer properly. I'm signing you off on video only, because now I'm sharing with you the content based question answers, your long question answer, your short question answers. And don't forget to pen down on your notebook, because we are meeting very soon in the traditional classroom. The chapters I have done with you, the content which I shared with you, I want to see on your notebooks. So please do it mindfully, it is very important, okay. 2 lines answer and the long questions I am sending you, you need to pen down with the summary as well. Summary should be on your notebook, and the word meanings plus long questions, short questions. Today by evening you will be getting the all content. Till the time, goodbye, stay protected, stay safe.